Bharat Swaraj when we formed it in 2014. Later on, past few years, I've been convening the network. The main necessity or the importance of the network is that there is a continuous change in policy framework related to seeds and knowledge. All of you know that intellectual property, Bauddhik Sampada, is one of the mainstay of modern technological interventions and business and industry. So, after the WTO agreement which India signed, and because of that, there are change in our law, also Indian laws, also to agree to include intellectual property in agriculture sector, especially the seeds. So this is something which is fundamentally against the community values of paramपरिक हमारे जो knowledge and resources के संबंधित जो the value system we have in relation to our knowledge in seeds and medicinal plants or such resources, not to monopolize knowledge and resources like seeds. That has been our fundamental value. So this is a very peculiar challenge where the state facilitate ownership of these seeds and related knowledge and give them monopoly, and the communities are hard pressed to conserve and share these resources. So this is a very peculiar situation which has arisen since 2005 because of our own laws like the plant variety law, the biodiversity law, also bringing in the aspect of intellectual property. So there is a need to continuously engage with government policy research policy process because the government policy in terms of intellectual property and plant variety protection and the CBD Convention on Biological Diversity Act, etc., is continuously changed in the favor of technology and business. Just like you know that in the past decade the government has been trying to push GM crops, which the civil society and academia to a certain extent has been able to stall, at least in food crops. Even though cotton they have succeeded in enforcing the GM crops, but there is an attempt continuously to bring in GM crops in other food crops especially, so that it's also needed for them because it is every GM technology is linked to many intellectual property aspects, whether it is related to the process or the gene itself is owned by somebody else. So that's why they want more and more growth and profits for seed industry, so they want this technology to be enforced. So now the government is saying that GMOs we are not going to promote, but we are going to promote gene-edited crops and technologies. Gene-edited rice, they have already 2 varieties government has agreed to release. So this again is a camouflage attempt to bring in the same technologies in the name of new technologies which will bring in profits to the farmers or improved varieties for Indian farmers. Essentially, these are again coming from the same agribusiness driven international processes, including the UN processes like the FAOC treaty and others. So we need to be very aware of these developments and also to preserve our space for sharing, and without our values we cannot continue to share. If only the community values or the paramparagath values remain, then only we will continue to sustain and develop these seeds. Just because these seeds got shared over generations across regions, diversity was created. A variety taken from maybe Maharashtra came to Karnataka, because of the soil types or because of the bacterial, fungal interactions, genotype, environmental interactions, some variation developed, and the farmer noticed it and selected a new variety, adapted to his own conditions. So this is how it should happen. Diversity should remain and new variety should develop. Not just from the technological system, or whether it is the ICR system or from the mainstream agribusiness industry. So we need to preserve our space, can only be done with the value framework. So this is a major challenge. This is what we would like to focus as a network in engaging with the government and the scientific bureaucracy about this. And last year we have been successful to stall the changes in the seed treaty, which was going to happen last year November. We campaigned and then we were able to stall. They were wanting to expand all seeds into the global system without challenging the intellectual property regime. Anything which will be collected in India can be accessed by the government, and then government can transfer it to any MNC or any other country. That was the plan for the International Seed Treaty. Right now only there is limited 64 mandated crops, and they have selected germplasm collections. So now if they are successful in pushing that change in the International Seed Treaty, that means anything which is in your community's possession, individual farmer's possession, can any time be taken away to the international regime, including their in situ collections. So these are the things which we have no problem in sharing seeds, but if it is coming with an intellectual property regime, then there is a problem. So that is going to cut our basic knowledge framework or value framework. So this is important that we preserve our value framework over the genetic resources, which is fundamental to sustainable livelihood, sustainable food systems, and true healthy food system. So this is what B. Swaraj Mehta is trying to do. Thank you.